This week on Eagan AM.
Rising club sports.
Schwann's Lake.
And the wildcat world of sports.
Live from Studio 1A, this is Eagan AM.
Good morning, I'm Paul Hodowanik.
And I'm Tyler Jensen, and welcome to the last show of second trimester.
Tryouts for the 2017-2018 dance team will be March 14th, 15th, and 16th from 6:30 to 9 p.m. and March 18th from 8 a.m. to noon.
All tryouts will be held in the gym.
The tech crew is in need of new members.
Anyone who wants to help build the set for the spring musical is welcome.
Building begins on Monday at 2:20 in the theater. Okay, it's time for everyone to get their phones out.
Back by popular demand, Guess That Teacher is back.
We have Ethan Estrom live in studio to give us more info.
Thanks, guys. For anybody that missed Guess That Teacher last time, it works like this. Go to @Eagan_AM on Twitter and find the Twitter poll that will be open until the end of the show. That Twitter poll contains a little unknown fact about a teacher at Eagan High School, and you'll have 4 teachers to guess from. To get today's fact, what teacher was cast as a stepsister in Cinderella when they were in high school? The teacher choices are Mr. Mass, Mr. Schaefer, Mr. Brook, and Mr. Hammond. I will be back at the end of the episode to announce the correct answer. Good luck, Eagan. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ethan.
In recent years, high school sports participation has increased by roughly 100,000 students nationwide per year, according to the National Federation of State High School Associations.
However, students are increasingly turning to club sports as opposed to the traditional high school varsity teams.
We caught up with Annika to learn more about this recent trend.
At Eagan, many student athletes participate on school teams, but a few prefer to join clubs instead. To learn more, I caught up with juniors Michael Melville and Bud Putman to learn more about their volleyball club in Bloomington and how they got involved.
So thank you guys for coming in. How did you guys get involved with volleyball?
We both pretty much decided that basketball wasn't really for us anymore. So we decided to try something new, and then I got a text from him saying there's a club in Bloomington, 2 practices a week, and we'll play some weekend tournaments. And it sounded like fun, so we both tried out, and now we're both on the team.
So you guys had tryouts?
Yeah, so there's about 20 kids that tried out. There was 11 that made the team, but one kid couldn't make the drive anymore. He lived in Rochester.
So what positions do you guys play?
I'm the setter.
And I'm the outside hitter, along with Chiyun, but Chiyun couldn't make it today.
So what other teams do you guys play, and where are your games?
So a couple of our tournaments are at the Bloomington Jefferson Community Center. Then we had a tournament in Iowa, and there's a couple other Minnesota teams, and then some Iowa teams that we play.
What's your favorite thing about the team?
Yeah, it's just real volleyball. It's more fun.
Is there a state tournament or any big thing that you guys are working towards?
There's just there's another Iowa tournament coming up in a couple months, and then actually this weekend we have a team coming down from Canada to play at our Bloomington tournament, so there's just playing some international teams.
The growing popularity of clubs is extending into our very own high school. Signing off for Eagan AM, I'm Annika Isbart.
Thanks, Annika.
According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, Earth's 2016 surface temperatures were the warmest since modern record-keeping began in 1880. It's no surprise that residents of Eagan are questioning whether the conditions are safe or not for various activities on the ice.
We have Allie live from Schwann's Lake with Jesse Coley, the City of Eagan Water Resources Technician, to help us understand ice safety issues. Allie?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Jesse Coley, a City Eagan official. So, how thick usually should the ice be if it's safe for safe conditions to go out on?
So we remind people that no ice is ever completely safe, but according to the DNR guidelines, you need 4 inches of good clear ice to walk on per person.
Cool. So when does the ice normally melt?
It really depends on the season, and our climate is weirder every year, it seems like, but it normally melts around the middle of March to the middle of April. It really depends on where you are in the state and then how warm the winter has been.
Cool. So what color usually is the ice? Like, what is indicative of to be able to go on it?
Well, color can be kind of deceptive because If you don't get a lot of snow or thawing, then the ice, even if it's very thick, it can be quite translucent and it looks dark. And so the only way really to know is to check and drill a hole and see how thick the ice is. Measuring it like with a tape measure is what I usually do. There's a lot of ways to do that.
Cool. So with the recent temperatures lately, how has the ice been, at least what you've seen?
This year has been an interesting year. We didn't get ice or warm or cold temperature until late. So the ice has been a little bit less reliable than normal, but I've seen it be kind of dark and the light still can get through because we haven't gotten a lot of snow. So yeah, but you can't really trust the color. The only way to know is to drill a hole or to chop a hole in the ice and measure. You can't really trust the color because different weather conditions and things like that can really affect the color.
Cool. So you have an example, actually?
I do.
Okay.
Earlier I got here and I chopped some ice and we slowly moved. What the ice looks like right now, you can see sort of layers in it. The top layer is kind of melted and thawed and melted again, and then this middle layer, this is what you want, just a teeny little bit. So I would say this ice is not safe to walk on. Down here you can see it's starting to break up. It just kind of flakes off. That's what you call honeycomb ice. So that comes later in the season, and that makes it extremely unsafe to walk on. So I would say, you know, if you are going out in the middle of winter and you walk on the lake, then always wear your ice picks. I have this example and a life jacket. Tell somebody where you're going and make sure that you have at least 4 inches of this good clear ice, unlike today. Yeah.
Nice information to know, especially. So when did you go out and drill that today?
It was just before you guys got here, and I have here in my truck, I have several tools. I don't know if we have time to look at them, but if you're into ice fishing or not, there's a couple kinds of augers, and then there's a chopper. So if you look over here, this is a power auger that uses gasoline to run. This is a little metal chopper that I just use. It's good for thin ice. This is a drill bit that we found that is super awesome because you can put it into a drill. This is just for me to make holes in the ice. We check the oxygen all winter to see if it's enough for the fish, and if it's not, then we install an aerator. And this is a little hand auger. If you're interested in getting into ice fishing, in general, this is a nice tool to have. It just has a small little blade on one end, and then you put it on the ice, and you sort of drill like this. That's how you would do it. So there's several ways that you can make holes in the ice, but with ice this thin, you just chop right through it, which is not reassuring about walking on it at all.
Well, cool. That's cool to see what you use exactly for it.
Yep, and I'm sending cards back if you guys catch these talented students. I have these little cards from the DNR. It's a good way of remembering how thick the ice should be, and it gives information. And so if you go on the DNR's website and search for ice safety, you can find all this stuff.
Okay. Perfect. Nice.
Thanks, Allie.
So,
last week we spread the word about the new soup bar available during lunches.
So far, the soup bar has been a success. In fact, last week they sold out before reaching all lunches. Now, they're planning to adjust the supply to meet the large demand in the future.
It's great to see that students are embracing the variety of options in our lunchroom.
Yeah, have you tried it?
I have. It's delicious.
I have not. I got to get on that.
Finals are next week, and if you haven't already started studying, you definitely should.
Here are 5 tips to help you be successful on your second try exams.
First, start early. You don't want to cram in the last minute.
Study with a group if it helps, but don't get distracted.
Prioritize your work. Spend the most time on your hardest subjects.
Don't forget to take a study break to refresh your brain, even if you just walk around a little.
Finally, ask questions. Your teachers are there to prepare you and are more than willing to help.
Remember, we are still on the new finals schedule we tried out last trimester.
Also, since seniors don't have to take finals third try, these are our last finals ever.
I'm so excited for that, and something else I'm excited for is our WCR. Take it away, Sam.
Thanks, guys. As winter season's near an end, our cats are still playing hard, so let's get right into things. Guys hockey made a strong push towards the X last week, starting off with section quarterfinals against Rosemount. With no score after a period, sophomore Nick Sherrick put the Cats up 1-0 with a clean snipe from the bottom of the circle. The Cats kept things going for the rest of the game behind senior goalie Jeremy Manzella, who had an eye-popping 45 saves. But Rosemount was able to knot things up with 1 minute left in regulation, which meant we got some free section play overtime. After a back and forth overtime session, the Cats gave one final surge with under a minute left. Senior defenseman Trevor Mikla took the puck up, nice shot on goal, and Keegan Johnson goes to the blue paint, sellies in front of the BOTG, sending the Cats to the section semis, where they would face off with the Cadets of St. Thomas. And Johnson found Twine once again, giving the Cats an early 1-0 lead, but the Cats couldn't outrun the Cadets as they fell 1-4. Great season, guys, and the future is bright for Wildcat hockey. Also, your senior goaltender Jeremy Manzella was nominated by MN Hockey Hub as a Player of the Week candidate for his spectacular section performances. Visit the Eagan Wildcats Twitter page for the link to vote for our Wildcat. Boys basketball has been working hard to prepare for sections. Coming up next week, the boys traveled to Lakeville North, where they met a loaded Panthers roster and came up on the losing end 94-42. Jake Van Wyk was the leading scorer for the Wildcats with 15 points. The Cats then traveled to Apple Valley to take on 3rd and State Eagles. The boys battled hard, trailing by only 2 points at the half, but unfortunately they couldn't outlast the Eagles, losing 64-82. Darby Sorensen was the leading scorer for the Cats with 22 points, and Jalen James had a big game with 16 points. They play at Rosemount tomorrow, so make sure you get out and support the boys. One sport that many of us forget Wildcats participate in is figure skating. We were lucky enough to have a few members of the ISD 196 Icettes to come in the studio and talk with us.
I've been on the team for 6 years.
I've been on the team for 4 years.
We compete in Blaine, and we also compete at Nationals, which is all over the U.S. This year it was in Ohio.
We're almost actually done with our season. Our last part of our season is our show next week, March 9th through 11th at Apple Valley High School.
We did really well at Nationals this year. Both of our synchro teams got first.
Thanks, girls. Make sure to go out and see their last show. Speaking of first place finishes, boys swimming was nothing short of perfect as they took home their 4th consecutive section championship. Senior captain Michael Kehoe took home gold in the 100 freestyle, and junior Quentin Steffen broke his own school record in the 100 breath with a time of 58.66. The Cats are sending all 3 relays and 7 individuals to the state meet at the U of M this Friday. Make sure you get out and show our Cats some love. The girls' basketball season unfortunately came to an end last night as they lost to Eastview in the section playoffs. Natalie Smith led the Wildcats in scoring with 10 points, so make sure to congratulate them on a great season. Wrestling has been dominating the mats all season, as it is now time for state tournament play. Congrats to state qualifiers Caden Gage, Xavier Rosenblum, Roth Stricker, and Marcus McGinley. Good luck at state this Friday and Saturday. It was a big week for gymnastics as Tegan Rambold and Megan Harold qualified for the state meet. Tegan was able to come away with a 5th place finish on the floor. Also, congrats to Coach Miss Eklund for winning Coach of the Year in gymnastics. We finished with one of Egan's greatest pastimes, intramural basketball. The IBA Championship Week was this week, and a few teams made history. Uno Dos Tres capped off an undefeated season with a win over Ice in Our Veins in the D2 Championship, and in the D1 Championship, EHS Playground took down Of Mike and Men, thanks in part to Rohel Raza, who had 11 points and 10 blocks, as well as Hunter Weiss, who tallied 12 points. Playground will represent Eagan in the district tourney this Sunday at Eagan, so go cheer them on to another championship. That's all I have for you this week, sports fans. We'll see you in the spring. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Sam.
The time has come to announce the results of our Twitter poll.
Ethan?
The poll has ended and the results are in, and Mr. Hammond has won the poll with 34% of the votes, while the correct answer was Mr. Schaefer with only 11% of the votes. Anyways, good luck next time, Eagan. Back to you guys.
Wow, I didn't expect it to be Mr. Schaefer.
Never would have thought.
Well, that's all we have for you this week, Eagan.
Have a great day, Wildcats.
Make it on your own, but we don't have to grow up. We can stay forever young. Living on my sofa, drinking rum and cola underneath the rising sun. I could give 1,000